Hey, it's Joss. Welcome back to my universe. We're gonna talk about whatever I want, whenever I want. Today, I'll be talking about my Cupid OCs again. I don't really have a name for them yet, but I do have a little more of their characters and relationships and the story set up a bit more, but not completely. I still don't have names for anti-Cupids. I'm just calling them anti-Cupids. And I was gonna change the name of the Cupids. I had a name for a while, but just didn't like it. But anyway, gonna hop straight into it with the main story, because if you didn't watch the last video I made about it, I'll link it, but if you didn't watch the last video I made about it, then you don't have to, but it would help you to understand the first version of the story. Anyway, in this story, there are Cupids and anti-Cupids. Now let me explain. Cupids are a division of angels, not like actual angels. They're basically just promoted humans, like humans that got special abilities and are now like considered quote-unquote angels. They're not actual angels, they're just... yeah. So Cupids are a division of angels who specialize in romance and matchmaking. For the first few years of their life, they go to a Cupid school where they learn how to do matchmaking and fight and all that, because they're going to end up fighting anti-Cupids, which are the opposite of Cupids. They're trying to break apart relationships and just all around just spread around the negativity and be meanies. So, in this story, Robin was the top of his class in his Cupid school. I really think that Cupid school is a cute name, but also, like, I don't really like it. But anyway, he was the top in his class. But the thing is, he never really understood why, like, romance is such a big deal. All the kids in his class were reading all these cute romance books, and they were like, oh, I can't wait to fall in love and get married. And he just didn't get it. So, at the end of his high school experience, or Cupid school experience, he's actually sent to Hamilton, which is where his cousin Cara is also stationed. So they're like, okay, you're gonna join your cousin there. And he's like, okay, why? Because from what he knows, there are tons of Cupids around the world. There's like billions and billions around the world, and he doesn't know why he needs to go to such a big city. But the thing is, recently, the Cupids have been getting found out. And because they're, like, super special and they have super special powers, you can, like, extract powers from them and use them to have powers, which is what the anti-Cupids have been doing. So that's why some Cupids have been going missing. And, yeah. Robin is actually pretty nervous to see his cousin because they haven't talked in a while, which is kind of funny because they were, like, super close and, like, best friends. But then Robin just stopped talking to her. I will get into that later, but Cara's showing him the ropes. She's showing him, like, oh, this is how you do stuff, because Cupid school in real life, there's probably a huge gap. So she's showing him around. She's showing him how to work at the bakery cafe place and all that. And so while, like, walking around, cruising around, they run into their local anti-Cupid, and he looks a little familiar. So Robin asks about that, and Cara's just like, oh, yeah, about that. But anyway, more on that later. I'm gonna start explaining more of Robin's character. His full name is Robin Valentine, because Valentine is so cute. I was gonna change his name to something else, but I was just like, no, Valentine is so iconic. And I was gonna be like, wait, should the Cupids be called Valentines? And I was just like, no, because that doesn't really make sense. Anyway, he's always had struggles with understanding emotions, especially romance, because that's, like, the thing that's been surrounding him since birth. So that's kind of been the thing that kind of alienated him from his classmates. He's always had a hard time connecting with them, and he's always been very unusual, and people were just like, you're so weird and you're so cold. So he's just like, you know what, I'm just not gonna talk to anyone anymore because you guys all hate me anyway. and so he kind of isolated himself, and in turn his best friend, aka his cousin Cara, was just like, what? But I'm your cousin, bro. We're basically siblings. How could you do that to me? She's, like, really hurt by this. But he's like, no, I gotta protect everyone around me. I can't be around everyone because I'm such a weirdo. Not those same exact words, obviously, but he's just like, you get it. So he also hates eye contact, and literally everyone around him is, like, staring into his soul while they're talking, and he's just really creeped out by that. And he takes a lot of things seriously. he is a pretty dry person, but doesn't mean to. He also doesn't want to care, but also does. I know that kind of sounds stupid, but, like, that's just how he is. So another thing is that when he gets back in contact, which is when the story starts, Robin is dreading it. He's like, no, I want to see her again, because he knows that she's a confrontational person and she will ask questions, but she doesn't, and that's because she understands, she knows what happened, and she just, like, kind of accepted it and, like, decided to just, you know, move on. So they just have a grand time. They're really happy to be around each other again. So I named Robin because Robin sorry, that's funny, because Robin is a winter bird, and I wanted his name to have something to do with winter because he's been described to be very cold and, like, detached and stuff, because Robin is pretty dry, kind of dry. He doesn't really mean to be, he just doesn't know what to say. So he's kind of dry, and he's the kind of person who could probably go months without talking to someone without even noticing and being like, oh, like, out of nowhere, just being like, oh, I haven't talked to anyone in a year. Because, like, he got a remote job or something. So that's just the kind of person that he is. And also because, like, he just has this inability to feel romance and, like, understand why everyone's so obsessed with it. So, like, also that. Then, for design, I really liked having, always having the sleeves over his hand, just because I felt that made him look cuter. And you know what? Sometimes men should look cuter. Yeah. Robin is around, like, 19 to 21. I can't really pinpoint, like, should he be just finishing college, but also why would he go to college? So I'm thinking maybe fresh out of high school, but also 19 isn't fresh out of high school. So I might make him 18, but also 18 feels super. That's, like, my problem right now. Anyway, more symbolisms. Spiral, because he is spiraling, trying to figure out whether he should become, like, turn to the dark side and become an anti-Cupid or stay. And also, like, okay, I'm gonna explain a little more of the story now, because I didn't explain the full at the beginning of the video. His cousin, his Cara, is missing. Do I have an habitude of making my characters go missing? Yes. I'm not ashamed to admit that. But anyway, Cara is missing, so he's kind of just spiraling, like, oh my gosh, we finally got back into contact. Is it because she got back in contact with me? Is this my fault? That sort of thing. So he's kind of spiraling. He's really sad. He's like, oh no, my best friend. And so everyone's favorite local anti-Cupid helps out. And, like, he's kind of just like, oh, okay, at least I have support. And during that little arc, he learns how to play bass. I'll explain that more a little later, but the hearts on his design are to be like, oh, he's a Cupid, and the jewel scythe is to represent, like, the duality of, like, his identity. He could either become an anti-Cupid or stay a Cupid. Maybe his parents were an anti-Cupid and a Cupid, or maybe a human and a Cupid, so he's kind of always having that fight inside of him. I don't know, man. Throwing ideas at the wall. But anyway, that's Robin. So the thing that I forgot to mention again is that to the left is their Cupid / anti-Cupid designs, and at the right are their regular people designs, like what they're wearing on a day out. And also the story takes place in winter, so I should probably be more considerate of that. But this could also be outfits that they're just wearing inside. But anyway, on to Cara Valentine, aka Carolina Valentine, cousin of Robin Valentine, whom he's been ignoring for a few years or months, I'm not really sure. But anyway, she's 25 years old and 5 foot on a good day. She wears really cute, elaborate outfits every day. Really cute, like, Lolita outfits. She owns, like, this cat cafe that's also mixed with a bookshop. So, like, one side is gonna be, like, the bookshop, the other side's the cat cafe. And there's also, like, romance books. Oh, yeah, I just said that. Anyway, it's really cute and really fun, and Cara loves baking. She loves this, and she loves her heart-themed hair. Because she's full of love, she has, like, barely any secrets. She's an open book, except for when she isn't. And I feel like she'd be pretty, like, easy to read if you know her well enough. like, if you don't know her, you're gonna be like, oh, she probably just doesn't feel good. She's probably just, like, out of her element. But no, like, to the people who've known her for more than, like, 2 weeks are gonna be like, you're hiding something. But anyway, Cara and Carolina are both names that me love, so I decided to use them both. Cara being her nickname, Carolina being her full name. So, and also, her heart meteor hammer is meant to be like, oh, she's being them with kindness. It's kind of funny. Anyway, I want to talk more about her past. So a lot of the kids who go to these, like, Catholic schools that are basically training these kids to be Cupids actually take in kids that are orphans. This is also, I don't really know how to say this in English. Orphanage, yes. Sorry, I was just gonna say it in French. But, it's also an orphanage. They do have separate classes. I don't know if I said this earlier. I'm pretty sure I did. They do have separate classes for kids they do believe will be good Cupids, and regular kids that they're just like, we're taking you in just to take you in because we're good people. But during her teen years, she was best friends with Hero, and I'm not really sure if I want them to have a romance subplot or not, because I just don't like romance, guys. Me and Robin were like, we both don't like romance. And I don't know, man. Anytime shows start going down the romance block, I'm just like, no, I'm not watching this anymore. Because guess what? It's the same thing over and over again. It's literally just, they won't talk to each other. Can you tell that I was watching a show that, like, kind of went full on romance recently? And I just don't want to watch it anymore, but I really do like the characters. Just, like, I just think that it's annoying. Like, the entire thing is just, they won't talk to each other. Oh my gosh, just talk. Okay, side rant over. Anyway, she was friends with Hero during her teen years. They were super close, inseparable, and they were planning on being partners for, like, their Cupid stuff. But one like, elder or something, or someone, didn't like the relationship and thought, you know what? I am going to destroy you guys. I am going to ruin your relationship and all that. So now Cara thinks that Hero hates her and wants nothing to do with her. And Hero thinks that Cara just up and left out of nowhere. So Hero's been looking for her all this time. And Cara has been just, like, living her life. A little sad because, hey, that's her best friend who knows, like, everything about her. But, like, you know what, sometimes you just gotta move on. That's what she was thinking. But then she's assigned to Hamilton. She moves to Hamilton or whatever. She's in Hamilton. I don't know if you can hear my sister playing guitar or not, but I bet you love that, right? Anyway, she's in Hamilton. She's living her life. She's just moving on. She's just doing stuff how she's supposed to do. And guess what? The local Cupid is someone who looks familiar. It's Hero. It's her ex-best friend, guys. Other than that, I do believe that Cara is very willing to, like, be friends with him again, but she's, like, really scared, like, what happened, what's going to happen, all that. And she expresses that, guys. I'm not gonna fall into that cliche where they just don't talk. But also, I feel like there'd be, like, boundaries of, like, he literally can't disclose information sometimes. But anyway, on to Hero, aka Hirotake Koto, or Koto Hirotake. Anyway, he is a former Cupid who turned after, like, the bitterness and being super angry about what happened with Cara because he doesn't understand. So he's just like, you know, I hate romance. I hate everything. So he's, like, really angry, and so he turns. And instead of being like, oh no, he's just like, you know what? Let's try to make the better of it. Maybe life is better on the other side. Maybe the grass is really greener on the other side. So he gives this a chance and ends up finding somebody else who is also looking for Cara. And this isn't going to lead to some good things, but for now, he's just like, oh, they're also looking for Cara. He doesn't really question why. He's just like, you know what? I should team up with them. So he does. And during this time, he just spends his days being, like, super bitter and being like, you know what? Romance is a waste of time. No one should be in a romantic relationship because it's just a big, fat, huge waste of time. Growing up, Hero was pretty much just, like, the goofy, goofball guy of the class. But he was also, like, he wasn't joking around about classes, so he passed. He was doing well in school, but he joked around a lot and almost failed a few semesters. He's really charismatic. He was a bit all over the place sometimes, but you know what? When he makes a promise, he does come through. So in his design, he has more so a lot of blue. I was thinking about adding purple, but I don't know, man. I don't know. So he has a little more blue and black because he's sad. He's just really sad and stuff. He has inspiration from like VK and stuff because I just like the style, and I feel like having the Cupids have inspiration more so from like Rococo and like what's it called, Lolita styles, like those sweeter, cuter, more ruffly styles, and having the anti-Cupids take on a more like darker, more leather and stuff and strappy stuff, like darker stuff. It's a nice contrast. Also, a little thing is that the more you transform, the more it takes a toll on your body. However, Cupids have the advantage of just like replenishing themselves by like doing their duties as Christians. But anti-Cupids, they become a little more monstrous, and yeah, they kind of just get uglier. Not in their human form though. They look normal as humans, but like their bodies do take a toll in the internal organs. And then their, like, actual anti-Cupid form just starts looking uglier and uglier and more inhumane. So it's kind of just, like, yeah. But anyway, it's a little bit before the story when, Hero and Cara get reunited. And Hero is so excited. Like, he's like, finally, I found her. I think he'd also stay an anti-Cupid because he receives some special powers that lets him, like, see stuff better or something. So that's how he found Cara. And also having that group, because who else can help him? Because guess what? It was literally a jealous person's fault at their, what's it called? Their Cupid school who tore them apart. So he was just like, you know, I don't trust you guys anymore, too. Yeah, where was I? So Kira's really happy to see her again, but Kara's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? She probably thought that he was dead or something, or hated him, one of the two, because I just got the idea, what if she thought he was dead? But whatever. So he starts like going to her cafe and just sitting around, and their dynamic becomes more so like her trying to like hide her feelings and be like, no, I hate you, why are you here, bro? And him being like, no, I'm never gonna leave you again. I'm gonna show you this by coming by every day. And if you're wondering what is this man's job, I'm planning on having him either be a mailman or like run errands for small businesses for funsies. He's also in a band. He's the guitarist and singer for his band. He also like delivers stuff on his motorcycle because I think that would be really cool. His singular scissor thing is meant to represent how, like, empty he feels after leaving the Cupid, because, like, he had a lot of family, he had a lot of friends, and he does miss it, but also, like, there's distrust. Does that make sense? Also, he doesn't trust them, so. Okay, this last character doesn't actually have a reference sheet yet, but I do want to show her off. I'm not really a big fan of this drawing, but her name's Rania Estrada. Rania meaning queen in either, like, Egyptian or Arabic, then Estrada meaning road. So, yeah. Rania is actually Cara's long-lost half-sister. So Cara doesn't know this, but when Rania was young, before Cara was born, their mother left her to go be with another man. And she's just been really mad about that ever since. And she's just been like, how could a mother leave her own child and all that? And she's just been super hurt. And so all this bitterness culminated in her becoming an anti-Cupid when she's a teenager. She is now like 28 probably. Like, she has to be older than Cara, but still like around that age range. Actually, no, maybe 30. Anyway, Rania works at a bar that she probably owns, that she founded. It is called, wait, let me find that. this bar is called Last Stop. She also does roller derby and is in the same band as Hero. She's an anti-Cupid who has been looking for her. The reason she's been looking for Cara is to take her vengeance. Probably because their mom might be dead. Her mom might be missing or dead or something. And Ron is like, okay, well, I need to get my anger out on someone. So she goes after her half-sister. So for the last, decade, she's been tracking down her sister and trying to find her. Rania is someone with a very short fuse. She gets angry easily. She's very hostile, and she really only thinks of what she can gain from anything. So kind of think of that one scene in or on High School Host Club when that beach episode, and I'm not gonna say the context because it feels kind of weird to tell someone who doesn't know the show, hey, this happened. But anyway, he's like, I know you're not gonna do that because you don't have anything to gain from it. And then he's just like, oh, okay, and leaves. So really, she's the kind of person who really only thinks of what she can gain from things, not really about being selfless. So the only reason why she recruited Hero and is helping him to become a better anti-Cupid and better at fighting and stuff. He was already good, but she's giving him tips hey, if you want to get 100% success rate, you have to do this. So she's helping him out with all that and stuff, and I feel like she'd probably be a cheater. That's kind of a funny thing to say about my own character, be staring at her so lovingly and think, she'd probably cheat on her partners. No, but seriously, she probably would. So for her design, I kind of want to keep her having a lot of spikes because I really like her hair. It's also kind of to show how hostile she is and how vengeful and angry she is, and that she's not really the most approachable person. So back to the main story, Rania keeps her cards close to her chest. She doesn't really let anyone know her secrets or her true intentions, so she's always kind of mysterious to people and kind of unknown. So when Hero's like, hey, I found Cara, I know where she is, maybe a little bit after, maybe a week after he finds her, he tells them, and guess what? Rania's okay, thank you, I'm gonna kidnap her. And he's like, no, that's my high school girlfriend, I can't have you kidnap her. But she's like, no, she ruined my life. Her existence ruined my life. And so Hero tries to get her a little more time with Cara and tries to convince Cara, hey, you need to move. But then Cara's like, no, my life is here. And he can't outright tell her. Because of a reason that I'm gonna because of a reason that I'm gonna come up with soon. But he can't just outright tell her. But he's also trying to be please, you need to move, you need to get out of here. And so Cara doesn't listen, and guess where she is? Missing. They don't know where she is. So over the course of the story, Robin and Hero have to team up to find her, and part of that is Robin going on a gig with Hero, meaning that Robin had to learn bass in 20 minutes and perform a set list of 60 songs. More realistically 20. But yeah. So I don't really know how to feel about her. I might cut her out of the story entirely, but for now she is here. Thank you so much for listening to me for 20 minutes. Have a great day, and don't forget to take care of yourself, y'all.